Welcome back to the Last Row Podcast. This is episode 36 of our on-demand series and podcast and friendship. If you're looking for us on the interwebs, thelasrowpodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at the Last Row Pod. I'm butchering this whole intro here.
I don't know if I can be friends with you anymore after that intro, Drew.
Facebook.com/the Last Row Pod, Google Plus, iTunes, and Google Play Music, Stitcher, any way you want to find us. We're on tons of stuff here. Just look us up, hit the Googles, type the Last Row Podcast. You'll find us. Across the room is my very good friend Badway, 36 episodes deep.
I'm embarrassed.
And he's still here.
I'm embarrassed.
He's still here after that intro. He didn't get up and leave. But we're going to leave it.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, Badway. Thrice just dropped a new album.
Yes, they did.
I'm feeling a little animated today.
If any Thrice fans out there, please drop us a line at thelasrowpod.com.
So how are you doing today? You're embarrassed? You're embarrassed over here?
A little embarrassed after that intro, Drew. A little bit.
I laughed a little too much in everybody's ears.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about today?
So on this on-demand episode 36, we're going to talk about some difficult to work with actors and actresses out there.
And podcast hosts?
And podcast as well, we all know. Yeah. So we're going to dive in. There was a story that leaked about Keira Knightley getting into it with her director, or her director basically having beef with her. We're also going to talk about the new Fast 8. There's some info coming out. The Rock tweeted an Instagram. Yeah,
he may have.
I'm an old man.
He may have tweeted.
Yeah,
Instagram.
he used his MySpace account to tweet his Instagram photo.
Who's not jacked up about that movie?
About some plot details of Hobbs and the Fast 8 franchise, which they are currently shooting. And then we're going to get into some plot fiction, which people seem to be enjoying.
The
that
fan
I certainly
favorite.
enjoy.
The fan favorite's back.
I got the pen this time. I got the pencil. I'm writing up some of the reviews here, and we're going to see if I can stump you, because you got me last time.
I haven't looked at anything, just FYI.
Yeah, no cheating. You're a cheater, aren't you?
I did not cheat this week. You told me not to look up anything, so I said, not going to look up anything.
I told you to cut your internet connection. I don't want to, no internet for you while we play this game. No. So, story came out about Keira Knightley. Apparently rubbed her director the wrong way, not sexually.
Maybe that's why he was upset.
So you know a thing or two about coworkers that maybe, I mean, like, I'm a diva, for example, right? We do this podcast. I'm difficult to work with. But I walk into your basement here. I mean, you got your dingy ass basement. Your TV's like only 60 inches. Xbox One, no PS4. No bidet with the toilet, right?
It's pretty hard in here, isn't it?
Rough toilet paper. Don't have the quilted.
I go with the Scott Thousand.
But this is the kind of stuff I have to put up with. You know, I asked for the high life. You don't give me the high life.
We got Yingling here,
but I don't put up a fuss, and you accept my diva-ship.
Yeah, I mean, like, right? You want the meat platter out with the cheeses of the world.
Yeah,
we don't put that out. It's not in the contract that we wrote up for this show.
Right. Yeah. All I asked is for the Gouda, and you supply me the Gouda, and then we're happy. But this guy, John Carney. Now, Keira Knightley.
Carney?
Yeah, John Carney is his name.
Like right? A Carney?
Yeah, like a Carney. Exactly. So when I say Keira Knightley, you think probably sweet girl.
I think
right?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I think, Love Actually.
Yeah. So she's Anna Karenina. She's been nominated for 2 Oscars, right? For Best Actress or Supporting Actress. One of those 2. Like, she's had nominations.
She's done some work.
She's good, right?
She's good, yeah.
Okay, all right. So John Carney was talking about his last project, which I believe released last year, called Begin Again.
Was this a wide release? I've never heard of it.
I think it was more. It might have been an independent situation. I haven't seen it.
She was in it?
She was in it, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah. So this is what he had to say about his interaction with Keira Knightley.
His working relationship?
Yes. Not that I didn't enjoy Begin Again, but Keira has an entourage that follows her everywhere, so it's very hard to get any real work done. And so I was very ready to come back to Ireland and make films that nobody cared about, who was in it, or any of that crap. I learned that I'll never make a film with supermodels again. Whoa! Supermodels.
Man. That's
She's
some
got
fighting
more
words.
Oscar noms than this, bro.
Some fighting words, man.
I looked at this guy's IMDb page. He's been in the business as long as she's been, all right?
Yeah.
He's like 5 years older than her. He's made like maybe 5 films. One of them was the movie Once, which was a very highly respected movie.
I don't know that
It is
one.
what it is. I don't know.
I only know Mark for Death.
Yeah, that's.
I just know Seagal movies.
It's not in our wheelhouse. Put it that way. So it's not like this guy. This is not Marty Scorsese over here.
Right.
Called her a supermodel.
I mean, she is kind of beautiful.
Yeah. But no, he just shoved aside her acting prowess.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying. So he goes on to say, so it's not like I hate the Hollywood thing, but I like to work with curious, proper film actors as opposed to movie stars. He dropped a movie star,
but
Ari Gold.
See, I wouldn't say she's in the movie star territory.
Like, Pirates.
Yeah, but she's done other things. I don't know.
She's an actress to me. Like, she's a good actress. This guy's throwing shade.
She's pretty good, yeah.
He's throwing shade.
I don't know. I'm not down with this guy.
I don't want to rubbish Keira. Too late already did. But it's hard being a film actor, and it requires a certain level of honesty and self-analysis that I don't think she's ready for yet, and I certainly don't think she was ready for on that film. You're like 5 years older than her, bro. It's not like she's some baby, right?
So let me just analyze this for a second. Is there more to the quote?
No, that's the end.
So let me analyze this for a second, okay? What if, now just go with me on this for a second.
Yeah.
What if maybe was this her most recent movie? Or was this a while ago?
No. I think it was a year ago. A year ago.
So she might be working now.
Yeah, like this guy's working on his most recent film now, and I guess he was caught up with a reporter.
So first off, this guy sounds like he's venting. And you can't say, well, I don't want to throw her under the bus, but
here's X, Y, and Z why she sucks.
He did, right? Yeah. He did.
He called her unprofessional. He failed to call her an actress. He called her a supermodel and a movie star.
Kind of disrespectful.
Yeah.
But go with me on this. What if over the past couple of years, after she did all these movies, she had some Oscar noms, did all these things. What if her head did start to inflate, and maybe she created this entourage and started acting like a movie star,
like a diva? She became a diva,
right. Like maybe she's pulling a Katherine Heigl, which we'll talk to in a second.
Maybe this guy was unprofessional. Maybe she didn't like his vibe, and that's what. Like, maybe there was a mutual dislike.
Yeah, like it was just not a good relationship.
She took the high road and didn't say anything, moved on to her next project. That could have been the case, too.
Look, I can see this guy's side, but you don't need to go... You're never going to win the battle of saying this in the media. It's just never a good idea.
Well, this guy doesn't seem to give a crap. Like you said, he could go to Ireland and make movies no one cares about.
So is he Irish?
I guess so.
I guess John Carney.
Carney sounds like an Irish name.
It's not like Blarney, but whatever. Carney, right? Like I guess that's an Irish name.
But it caught me off guard for she seems like a nice girl, right? I've seen her in interviews. I don't know her personally. You can always fake it. There's a lot of assholes that can fake it on TV. Sure.
Right.
It got me thinking, what are some of the other well-known jerks in the business? Or who do you think is a jerk that you have no basis for?
Before I answer that, I was just thinking about what you said earlier, right? And I kind of made a joke about it. I was like, oh, maybe she rubbed him the wrong way.
Yeah,
I think
maybe she did rub him the wrong way.
No, he got some rug burns.
Yeah.
No, all I'll say is, what if he was into her? And she just wasn't feeling him, and she came on to him.
The classic
came on to him.
Billy Walsh, Sofia Vergara.
Yes, exactly. Again, we talk about superheroes a lot on the show. You can't go an episode without hearing about Entourage on the show. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Maybe he was into her, and she just wasn't feeling it.
Could be. She's very sexy.
But having said that, I mentioned Katherine Heigl.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Go ahead. Or you were going to say something?
No, I was just going to continue on to how she doesn't deserve. She may be a jerk, but she doesn't need to be treated like she's not a good actress because she really is.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was going to mention Katherine Heigl. I know that was about Keira Knightley. I did not say that Katherine Heigl was a good actress. Yeah. All right, go on. She is not a good actress.
I did not want to go. Don't put me on the back of any DVD covers.
I've heard. Obviously, I'm not in the business.
You were.
I was in the business.
You were in the movie business. Sure.
But I was not in the business.
Are we not doing this business right now?
I mean, this is a business, right?
Yeah.
But I found, obviously a story a while ago, movie that I know you liked, I liked.
Yeah.
Knocked Up.
Great movie.
Great movie.
Very funny.
Katherine Heigl plays kind of a little bit of a downer in that movie, right?
Yeah, she was a wet blanket, right?
She was kind of a wet blanket. So there's this story that has pervaded the internet that she is a difficult person. Not because of that movie. That's one of 5 stories that I have.
5 stories of Katherine Heigl.
Very quickly, I will rattle through these.
All right, go ahead.
So number 1, she called basically Knocked Up sexist and basically rude. And she said that basically she was a wet blanket and it's all about the women being a wet blanket. What I would say to you, if you were her.
Yeah.
Why would you take this role? You read the script.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it.
You can't take the money for the movie and then complain about the role not being, I don't know, what is it,
I don't know.
gender friendly?
So here's the quote, right?
Yeah.
She said in a 2008 issue of Vanity Fair, it paints the women as shrews, as humorless and uptight, and it paints the men as lovable, goofy, fun-loving guys. It exaggerated the characters, and I had a hard time with it. On some days, I'm playing such a bitch. Why is she such a killjoy? Why is this how you're portraying women? 98% of the time, it was an amazing experience, but it was hard for me to love the movie. I could see where she's coming from.
She's not wrong.
Right.
Because it's true. Yes, she was a shrew in the movie,
Yes.
and the guys were lovable goofs. But you read the script before you took the
Exactly.
movie, lady. If you were so dead set against, if this is setting your gender back with this kind of treatment, then why'd you take the movie?
That's how I feel about it, right?
The paycheck was probably nice.
So the next one, it's like, okay, I can kind of see her side,
Yeah.
right? She has a point.
She has a point, but she has no basis if she took the role.
Right.
She should have not taken the role and spoken out against the movie. She felt so strongly about it.
So she has a point.
Yeah.
The next one is she withdrew from an Emmy nomination. So let me tell you about this. So basically, there was a thing with Grey's Anatomy where she was supported for outstanding supporting. She was nominated for outstanding supporting actress in a drama in 2007. She withdrew her name from the 2008 Emmys, saying, "I didn't feel I was given the material this season to warrant an Emmy nomination, and in an effort to maintain the integrity of the Academy organization, I withdrew my name from contention."
So she withdrew her name before she was nominated. Is that what I'm getting at?
In so many words, yes, it seems.
Okay.
Because basically she said she won in 2007, and then in 2008 she withdrew her name from contenders. So yeah.
Okay, so before she could have the personal embarrassment of not
Right.
being nominated for an Emmy, here's why I don't want to be considered for an award I'm not going to win anyway.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like I already won, so the writing was bad.
I was
so.
bad this year, but it's because the writers, not me.
And then there's another one too. So basically she had extreme salary demands on this movie called Valentine's Day.
Oh, that gem.
She
Okay.
was asking to be paid like $3 million for this thing, which the insiders called it ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then they went to replace her with Julia Roberts, Queen Latifah, Bradley Cooper, Jessica Biel, and Jamie Foxx. All better than her.
Yeah.
No offense.
So did they make under $3 million or a combined $3 million?
Oh, yeah.
I bet that movie's budget was $3 million.
And then there was some other things about firing her publicist. I mean, this is a long story. And then,
long story short, she's a bitch.
yeah. And then she sued Dwayne Reed for which is like was it a pharmacy?
I
or
love
something?
Dwayne Reed.
So
I have no idea.
There was a
who Dwayne Reed is.
paparazzi thing of her carrying a bag with a name on it, and she sued them for $6 million.
Yeah.
It's at the time of the article that I'm reading, it says
All right.
it's yet to be
Well,
settled.
that's just personal stuff right there. That has anything to do with the set, so to speak.
I think we can say that she's probably difficult. And
Yeah.
you know, I know you can paint anybody in any light.
Yeah.
You could paint either of us in the same light.
No, I'm pretty flawless.
I'll get you that cheese platter next
Thank
week.
you, the Gouda. But
Who do you have?
So I don't have any like basis for any of this, but it got me to thinking like who's probably a jerk. And for some reason, the first name that came to my mind was Russell Crowe.
I mean, he's punching paparazzi. And
Yeah, he seems like a violent guy.
I bet he's awesome, though.
I'm a great guy to hang out with, have a beer with. But when you're on set, whether you're acting with him or you're trying to direct him, now he's directed a few movies himself. But when you're trying to direct him or you're working with him, he just seems like a surly guy that would just no take would be good enough. I feel.
Yeah.
And if he thought his take was good,
He's not
and
gonna
you
listen to
did it,
you.
he's not going to do it again.
Yeah.
And I
I'm
have no
done.
basis for this. This is just how I envision him.
Yeah, it reminds me of like Larry David when
Yeah.
he's pretending in the Scorsese movie. Like, do you even know what you're doing?
Do you know what you're doing, Marty?
He asked Martin Scorsese,
Yeah.
"Do you even know what you're doing?"
He does too many takes.
I have a couple other on this list, and again, I have no basis for this one.
Yeah.
I know you're going to say it's a personal vendetta.
Yep.
I just feel like Jonah Hill is
Oh, you
tough to
hate
work
Jonah
with.
Hill.
But I like his movies, and I think he's funny.
Yeah.
So it's like,
So what about him?
I don't know. Like
Yeah.
it's just like a weird thing, you know? Like you would ask my dad, would he ever watch a Jack Black movie? And
Yeah.
he would say, hell no. He
Right.
hates Jack Black, but he has no basis for it.
Right, but so do you think Jonah Hill kind of plays like sarcastic?
I feel like
passive aggressive
Yes.
jerks in his movies. So you feel that
Yes.
would transfers to the actual acting of the
Yes.
movie?
And I
Okay.
feel like, and this is like a thing, right? So I liked Fat Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
And I feel like the skinnier he got,
Yeah.
the more awesome he thought he was.
Yeah.
And like, he's a great actor. Don't get me wrong. I love, like I'm saying, I love all of the movies that he's in.
Yeah.
And I enjoy all of them. I enjoy him in the movies.
Yeah.
There's just something about him that rubs
So-
me the wrong way. And I feel like maybe he's kind of like that character from This Is the End.
Yeah.
Like where he's just like
He's
pretending
so
to love everybody.
aggressive, such a dick in that movie. It's so good.
And I'm sure that's not how he
Yeah.
is. He's probably a nice guy.
Is
but
it possible?
He seems difficult.
Is it possible that he's so good at what he does that he
It is.
that he
It is
makes you think
possible.
that he's a jerk?
It is possible.
But he's the sweetest man.
The other
you've
one
ever
that I
met.
have is our favorite recast fellow,
Yeah.
Jared Leto.
Oh yeah.
So, he's like such a method actor. He's a rock star in this band, 30 Seconds to Mars, right?
Yeah. Which is he? He'd rather be a rock star than an actor, even though he's a better actor than a musician.
I agree with that
Yeah.
sentiment completely.
Yeah.
But he's sending people rats in the mail.
Yes.
Like
Suicide
trying to pretend
Squad, trying to
to
be
be the
the Joker, try too hard. Yeah.
He's trying to be Heath Ledger.
See, I know he's a great actor, but there are some guys who do the method thing and they try to get into the role. And there's other guys that overdo it, try too hard to the point of being annoying. He seems like the annoying type. He's probably not as difficult with the director that he would be with the cast and his castmates.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Like he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
He seems pretty humble, even though he has the whole Jesus thing going for
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah.
Like, like he just seems like he's like the savior.
Yeah, he seems like the type that would like be on the director's side the entire time, and he would get annoyed when one of his castmates did a take that he didn't think was good enough. That's
So,
what I see when I see Jared Leto.
Do you remember back in the day when we used to live in an apartment together, when
Yeah.
Twitter was new?
Yeah.
I tweeted at him.
Yeah.
It was like the crowning moment of my life.
Yeah.
Like I tweeted something at him.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It was like after we watched Lord of War or whatever.
Something like that,
I
yeah.
said that I liked his work.
Yeah.
And he replied directly to me and he wrote,
Ooh.
"Thanks, brother."
Oh,
And it was like,
man.
it was such a crowning
You could
moment
die
of my
now. You
Twitter
could die
career,
now.
back in the day.
Your first son is going to be named Jared. That's the way it works. No, and piggyback off Jared Leto, very similar situation. We talk about Christian Bale a lot here. He had the outburst, right, with the DP.
Yes.
So
Which he regrets, apparently.
he regrets it, but he probably had a point during that argument. The guy was probably bullshitting and fucking around with the light, right? As he said.
Yeah.
So he probably had a point. Now, do you think he's that way all the time? Or do you think he's like, he just wants to make such a good movie? I feel like he's actually a good guy to work with.
I think if you're on the movie, it's kind of like, all right, look, we talk about football in this show a lot, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about like a Tom Brady or a Peyton Manning, like an Aaron Rodgers, right? A guy that's so good that all the scrubs around him are even better because of it.
He elevates. He elevates Yeah.
the talent, whereas you
Yeah.
have another guy that isn't as good who sucks the talent out of people. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Right.
And I'm not a fan of any of those teams.
Uh-huh.
So we're Eagles fans on the show. So I'm jealous
Yeah.
of all this stuff.
Sure.
But having said that, a player like that just elevates it. And I think Christian Bale is like, the top 3 quarterback in the game
Yeah,
right now.
right.
Like he elevates all of these like no-name receivers.
So, okay, you think he picks up the entire cast?
Yes, he puts up
Okay.
career statistics
Yes.
with no-name guys.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like he is probably a nice guy, even though he's very intense.
Yeah.
And that scene, I could totally side with him on it.
Coincidentally, I caught the tail end of American Hustle on FX the other day. And like Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Lawrence, Amy Adams, they're all great actors on their own right. But I feel like as an ensemble, they were so great in that movie together.
Yeah.
I feel like the script of that movie was kind of all over the place. But what made the movie great was A, the style of it, the costume design, the set design, and B, the acting of those four actors. And I feel like Bale, you're right. I can totally see Bale being the one to like, he is the level that they all tried to reach. And I feel like they all reached his level, and it made for a great movie.
And so don't get me wrong, I loved Silver Linings Playbook. I thought it was a great movie. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And I love Bradley Cooper. I'm a fan of his work.
Uh-huh.
And I think, like he's the greatest actor in the world.
Yeah.
But I do think that Bale's a better actor.
Sure.
And I think you're exactly right. He's kind of like the glue.
Yeah.
And I feel like he did rise everybody up.
I feel like he was probably, like you said, the QB of that cast, and everyone was at his level in that movie.
Exactly.
They were all right there. Like it was so well acted that
that movie doesn't get enough love.
It lifted an odd script and made it basically an Oscar winner for all intents and purposes.
But that movie doesn't get enough love. You know what I mean? Like I feel that, Silver Linings Playbook came before it, right?
Yeah.
And then this movie comes out and people were like, "Oh, it wasn't as good as I expected." Like I don't know, they had these sky high expectations, but I loved it.
Pretty sure
I
it won
thought
the
it was
Oscar.
great. It did,
Yeah.
but I think it won like despite the chatter about
Yeah.
it. Like people are like, "I don't think this deserves it."
It's because the script is admittedly kind of all over the place.
But that's kind of the style
But
of the movie.
they acted the hell out of that movie, and it overcame it.
And Bradley Cooper was awesome in that movie.
Oh yeah.
It was great.
Underrated actor in that movie was Louis C.K. as
the
Bradley
cop?
Cooper's boss.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Dude, that it's funny because like he plays a cop in random things, and like Parks and Recreation, that's one thing, which he's funny in that. But when he showed up, like I had no idea that he was in it. They didn't advertise it.
Yeah,
I think
he was in it for a couple scenes.
It was kind of a secret, It's kind of like Bill Murray in Zombieland.
Yeah, a little cameo. Yeah,
but it was like he was so funny as the boss.
As a straight man. Yeah, definitely.
You either love Louis or you hate him.
Yeah,
and I love him.
So anybody else?
I got one more for you.
Yeah.
Well, there's probably a couple more, but one more that I wanted to show you. So I was looking up actors that are difficult to work with, and I found a surprising one that I didn't expect to find on this list, one that I don't really think about anymore.
Yeah.
Somebody who was Batman.
Oh,
which one do you think I'm talking about?
Are you going Clooney?
Not Bale. No, not Clooney.
Clooney seems like a nice guy.
He is a nice guy. So you either it's Keaton or Kilmer. You tell me.
It's probably Kilmer.
It is Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
And I found this anecdote on the internet that I think you'll love.
Yeah.
So it says that, basically Val Kilmer is this difficult person to work with. He's on this list of people that are historically known. It says that Val Kilmer walked off the set of his very first job, which was a commercial for hamburgers when he was 12 years old. How do you feel about that?
Burger King commercial. It probably wasn't even Burger King. It was probably some local
there's a
drive-through.
Link to this. I don't even know. It links to this thing, but basically, yes, he is difficult to work with. He apparently got into a fight with Joel Schumacher on the set of Batman Forever.
Well,
he was making irrational demands to the first assistant director, cameraman, and costume people.
Costume design.
Do you think he wanted his codpiece bigger?
Yeah, the crotch needs to be a little bigger.
The nipples need to be a little bigger.
Yeah, this it doesn't fit. It's too small. My muscles are too big.
I love this. So Joel Schumacher says he was rude and inappropriate. He was childish and impossible. I was forced to tell him that this would not be tolerated for one more second.
Well,
then we had 2 weeks where he did not speak to me, but it was bliss. It was bliss. That's how happy he was.
Wow, he must have really been a dick.
He was so happy that he was going. It was blissful.
I'm gonna side with Joel Schumacher on this one.
Oh,
he walks around looking like his shit doesn't stink, doesn't he?
Do you think there's something like with the fatter your face gets, like the more like outrageous your demands are?
Yeah. I don't know. Travolta doesn't seem to have that problem. He doesn't seem like that bad of a guy. Travolta,
yeah, I mean, he's got the whole Scientology
He's
thing.
in the Fat Face Hall of Fame.
We got to make the Fat Face Hall of Fame.
See, I thought Kilmer's thought his shit didn't stink for a long time. He always seemed like an actor, even though he's okay. He's not the greatest, but he's pretty good. And then he did MacGruber, and it's like it humanizes you. And I thought, if this guy did MacGruber and plays a guy named Kunth, who gets his dick shot off, you have to have a sense of humor about yourself. Right?
I forgot about that. Dude, I haven't watched that movie in so long. That is, if anyone's listening and hasn't seen that, you should go watch
classic.
it.
It's a classic.
You think it's bad, but it's actually very funny.
Very freaking classic. But yeah, so that gave me faith that he wasn't a jerk, but if he sits back in the hamburger days, he's quitting commercials, there you go.
I mean, we always talk about Steven Seagal. He's probably difficult to work with.
Oh, yeah.
Shia LaBeouf is another one that probably people would think of. And I heard another one about Mike Myers.
Really?
Yeah, but the way that they described it was that he's just hard to work with because he's difficult, but the way I took it was that he just cares a lot about what he's doing, and he's a perfectionist. He's a control freak. So that's going to piss people off, but I don't know. I know The Love Guru was not a great movie, but all the Austin Powers movies were great. Wayne's World was great. Like all those movies are great. So I can't say too much bad stuff about
sometimes you take comedy for nice guy. It's not the case. It's a quick tangent. I'll try the buff before we move on. I was just before I came here to do this podcast with you. I was at a friend's barbecue. Friend of the podcast, Dave, and friend in real life, Dave.
Real life Dave, too.
We were talking about Nick Cage, obviously, because why not?
Dave is the biggest Nick Cage fan I've ever met, which I love.
So one thing turned to another, Face Off, and we talked about what other, we're talking about Con Air, all the good stuff. So we get to the point where the question was asked, I forget who posed it, who's the next Nick Cage as far as crazy nutball actor who's going to make like dumb movies and an occasional great movie? And I think we landed on Shia LaBeouf as possibly being that guy.
Listen, I 100% agree with you.
Because Nick Cage is probably a bit of a jerk on the set, too, I would feel.
He's not going to... Listen, Shia LaBeouf's not going to have the volume that Cage has.
Yeah.
But he's definitely going to have, like, the eccentricity, if that's a word.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Of what he does. And by the way, shout out to Dave. Dave makes the best Nick Cage tweets ever. Like, all the time, there's so many animated GIFs or GIFs, whatever you want to say, of Nick Cage. Absolutely love it.
He's the GIF master. And When I was thinking of this topic, I thought of like the best guy to work with. Who's the best guy to work with? And one name came to mind, and it was Tom Cruise.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Cruise seems like the kind of guy who's having fun on set 24/7, 365. Does he not?
Well, I could see him being difficult, but I could also see him being fun as hell. It's hard because I think there you could go either way.
I don't think he's difficult at all. I bet he's super fun to hang out with on set and to act with.
If you have a guy hanging out of the side of a plane and that's the stunt, and he's like, "No, let me do it, dude. I'll do it."
He seems like I'll up for anything. Let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, all of his movies are great. We talked about this a long time ago, but you go down to IMDb list for Tom Cruise and name a bad movie. You can't do it.
Find the bad movie. It's hard to do. Yeah,
all of them are good.
Yeah.
I challenge you.
Speaking of find the bad movie, this guy has had some bad movies, but he's had some freaking great ones too. His name is Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
We love The Rock on this show.
We talked about Dwayne The Rock Johnson probably the last 5-6 episodes straight, here or there. So, but emergency bring up of Dwayne The Rock Johnson this time because he gave us what we've been craving for a long time, and that is information on Fast 8.
Listen, if you listen to this show, you know we may not love the classics, but we love the classics.
The classics.
The real classics. Fast and Furious.
So they're shooting Fast 8. They've got Charlize Theron.
Kurt Russell.
They've got Kurt Russell. They got Statham back. I thought he died in 7. Maybe my memory is
he died in your head.
Correctly, yeah. They do not have Paul Walker. He's dead.
Unfortunately. R.I.P.
Yeah. So everybody's back. Plus they're adding Charlize Theron.
Yeah, isn't the freaking guy with the red beard from Game of Thrones in it too?
Yeah. Tormund Giantsbane.
You've got Lucas Black. Academy Award winner in my head.
Baby Eastwood is in it.
Scott Eastwood.
Scott Eastwood
He's
is
good,
in
man.
it. Yeah. So everybody's back.
Is this, we talk about the Avengers?
Yeah.
Is this like the biggest ensemble outside of like a comic book movie? It's kind of become one.
Well, they keep adding people. And if you add Statham and now they add Charlize Theron, obviously. So The Rock, like I said in the opening, he tweeted out an Instagram of his.
He Snapchatted his MySpace.
Yeah, there was some kind of Tinder going on. I don't know.
He Tindered my Tinder.
Yeah, so he had this photo of him looking buff as ever, right?
Even more buff than before.
And here's what he wrote to whet your appetite. Quote, "When you strip a man of all he has, all that's important to him, you force him to return to his roots, and sometimes that's a very dangerous and twisted place. If I was going to return for another Fast and Furious, I wanted to come in and disrupt the franchise in a cool way that got fans fired up and their blood pumping to see a new version of Hobbs and his daddy's got to go to work mentality, and set the table in a cool way for where the character goes in the future. Maybe it's a spin-off movie, maybe it's more Fast and Furious movies, or hell, maybe Hobbs just gets on his motorcycle and rides off to the sunset, never to be seen again. Either way, I've had a solid first week of shooting. Good to be back. You guys around the world will really dig this new version of the role because, as we always say, disruptors dent the universe." Sounds like he's gearing up for a major plot piece of this movie, does it not?
Listen, with Paul Walker gone, you gotta introduce a new kind of main character.
Yeah.
My question is Vin Diesel going to be less, or is it he's going to share the spotlight with The Rock, kind of like Paul Walker did?
It might be more of a share space, but you're right. Since with the absence of Paul Walker, which is unfortunate, because Walker and Vin Diesel, while separate, are terrible.
They had a good thing
but
going.
Together, they're great. But they're the main cogs. You can't have Vin Diesel now lined up with Tyrese.
It's just not going to work.
Or the Asian dude who actually is
Ludacris.
Dead. Or Ludacris.
Did you say the Asian dude? Oh, he's dead.
He's dead. Yeah, Han. He's dead. Or Lucas
Black.
Lucas Black. Yeah, you can't do that because they're bit characers, right?
It doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
It's like having ketchup and I don't know.
Michelle Rodriguez. You can't they can't be. They have to be supporting characters. They can't be the main character. The Rock can be the main character. Hobbs has positioned himself in this movie for a bigger role, and now that the opportunity is there, why not throw him right in there?
Listen, The Rock's in everything right now.
Yeah.
And I remember you told me last week he can't be in everything, but let's put him in everything. He's going to be in Baywatch. Like, Baywatch could be another potential huge franchise, but Fast and the Furious is better because The Rock is in it.
Right.
It gave it new life, because if you took this movie franchise, and let's say it would have never lasted 8 movies. Hell no.
Well, I was sleeping on 4, though. 4 was not very good to me.
If was that Fast and Furious?
Fast and Furious. It was Vin Diesel's return, right?
Yeah, we did a retrospective on this. I forgot what episode it was.
It was way back
to it.
The
that was my
episodes.
least favorite of all of the Fast and Furious movies.
Right.
It's
So that's the thing. When 5 came out, they turned it from like a car racing little, steal something here or there to like a legit heist movie with The Rock hot on their trail. And that's what turned the movie from this, this struggling, almost direct-to-DVD, on-demand route to major blockbusters and billion-dollar earning movie.
Well, and that's the other thing, too. Not to say that The Rock hadn't been anything good, because I'm not going to say that The Fast and Furious is the best movie ever. It's entertaining, and it fits with the kind of movies that everyone that listens to this show knows we like.
Yeah.
But I feel that it definitely like catapulted The Rock to even more superstardom because he was even more jacked. He was even more tattooed. He was even more greased up. He was carrying a Gatling gun like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, I feel that this movie franchise really put him even higher because he is a bigger star than all of these people.
Yeah.
He just is. He's one of the best action stars since Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, you're right. He needed the platform, and he was doing like Walking Tall and The Rundown.
He did Doom,
and then he did some kids movies, and it's kind of like he was trying to find his way, where he was kind of like borderline Arnold to Jace, but not really. And now, like, he finally found his platform. So I ask you this question about Fast 8. Can this franchise survive without Paul Walker?
Yes, because of The Rock. Without The Rock, no.
Right.
But
so, yeah.
Because of what we said, absolutely yes. Because The Rock is the biggest star in this, hands down, not even close.
Say they deleted Vin Diesel from this movie also. But they had The Rock, and they had everyone else around it. Say Vin Diesel got difficult, and he didn't want to sign. Say he wanted more money. Is the franchise still Fast and Furious now? Because you have the 2 founding members gone.
No. They'll make a Hobbs spinoff, and that's okay.
Called Hobbs.
Yeah, I mean...
Hobbs by itself is a good title.
Yeah, like, that's what I mean. Like, his story and the character just it's infinite possibilities because he's just like, he's a special agent. Yeah. You could make a movie about anything.
Yeah, he could go on any task. He could be transferred to any department
That's
he
what
wishes.
I'm saying. And there's car races in every movie, regardless of whether it's called Fast and Furious. Yeah. Absolutely.
Let me give you one more question on this interview that I have for you. Impromptu Fast 8 interview.
I'm happy to be here.
Okay. Now that Paul Walker is unfortunately gone, you have these characters. Vin Diesel, he's on the criminal side, but he's a good guy. And Hobbs is a cop, obviously. Special agent, whatever it may be. Is Hobbs going to be ex-special agent in this Fast 8? And is he going to go to the criminal side, do you think?
Kind of like what Brian did?
Yeah, because they need somebody on their side now. They need an alpha. They need another alpha.
Well, let me say this. He kind of did that in the last one a little bit. He went a little rogue.
Well, he went rogue in all
Furious
the movies.
7.
Yeah, well,
but at least in what, 5, they kind of, or was it 6? I'm trying to think of which one. So, 6, they kind of like faced off against each other or whatever it was. And then 7, like, he kind of had to go rogue because they needed to do something and he needed to go against what they were saying. Yeah. I think in this one, he may go full on rogue. Yeah. Just full on rogue and absolutely just side up with them.
I think that would be the best case scenario, is that either he quits because there's some kind of injustice in his job, or he doesn't like the direction or that the company's taking him. So I'll go to Toretto's crew. And I'll get inside of Toretto's crew and make them better make them better people. You know what I mean?
It's exactly what Brian did. So, yes, they could do it. And I don't think anybody would call foul on it.
Yeah, Brian found out that the cops were dirtier than Toretto's crew.
Yeah, they were.
So they might as well just switch sides.
Listen, good is a point of view, right? Yeah. And evil is a point of view. And from their point of view, they were fine. Like, they just do what they got to do.
In 5, 6, and 7, I mean, they're basically Robin Hood. I mean, they're stealing from the rich, the rich and evil.
Well, I mean, you had what's his name, Hector Salazar, in the one in Brazil, the guy from 24, one of the Salazar brothers.
Yeah, one of the Salazars.
You know, he was bad. And speaking of car chases, that freaking safe
chase
is one of the best scenes of any action movie ever.
Yes,
you know, like, and I thought the last one was great too. They did a pretty good job having Paul Walker die through it. You know, and they finished the scenes. I know there was some questionable CG in there, but what are you gonna do? And the ending, I'll be damned if that didn't make me tear up a little bit.
Oh man,
I'll be lying if I said it didn't get dusty in the theater. That song still makes me feel it a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm in, man. I'm in for Fast 100.
I'll admit it on the podcast right now. I had to look away from the screen.
Oh, I looked and I let it.
I didn't cry,
man.
but I looked away because I couldn't see his face.
Did we talk about this before on the show? The older
Probably.
I get, the more I cry in movies.
Oh, yeah,
like I'm not
absolutely.
talking full on ball. I'm talking like a
The
single tear. You
the
know,
tear,
like
of
the
course.
tear. You feel the dust a little bit.
You got more life experience. You get more in touch with your heart, man. Last question. If they give Hobbs a big role, say the starring role in this movie, how does Vin Diesel feel about this?
I think
he
he's
accepts
on.
it?
Listen, he's a team player.
Yeah.
Isn't there stories like he funded this other movie that he wanted to do as a science fiction movie? He's a team player. Like what was that? The Last Witch Hunter? Or I'm thinking of the Nick Cage movie. There's another movie with him in it.
I don't know.
There's some sci-fi movie that he does. The Riddick movies. Like he's just a fan of things. Like
So he's good on set. Then
he's apparently one of the nicest guys. And we talk
guy
about
on
difficult
set.
to work with.
Yeah.
You know, he's one of the nicest
he's
guys.
good to work with, Vinny.
They've said that he's a really nice guy. He funds a lot of projects. He's a really fun-loving guy, and he's a big nerd too. Apparently, he's into the comic book culture. Like he loves just being an actor.
Yeah,
So what's to hate about that?
that's true. I guess he would be okay with it.
I think if it does the franchise justice, and listen, we know he's got a stake in this.
Yeah.
He's got some type of share agreement, probably like what Robert Downey Jr. did with the Avengers.
I bet so.
I mean, this thing took off. I bet they never thought it would turn into this.
And to think what if he did that when he re-entered the franchise in 4? He could be making
That's what I mean.
buco
And
bucks right now.
Retrospective hate be damned. If you say you hate these movies, you don't like fun.
You're lying to yourself. You hate action
You're lying
movies.
to yourself. You feel free to disagree, but they're fun movies.
Yeah, you're lying to yourself. And speaking of lying, as we're going to move along here, it's time for plot fiction, Drew.
Everybody's favorite game. I need to create a sound clip for this. I don't know if I'll do it this week, but we need a way to introduce this game. Plot fiction.
So let's get right into it. So for those that don't know, plot fiction is a game where we take 4 upcoming movie titles for the coming weeks, and I will give Drew the real synopsis and a fake synopsis that I have created myself. And Drew and you listeners at home need to decide whether the first one is real or the second one. You have to decide which of the two is the real synopsis of the title of the movie.
I'd say I studied, but I didn't. This is a test I will
cannot
probably
study.
fail.
It's not allowed. No cheating.
No studying allowed.
No
listeners.
studying allowed. So we got 4. So you got me last time. I believe I only did 2 out of 4 correct last time. So this is my time to turn the favor. So without further ado, the first question is Fender Bender.
Fender Bender.
Fender Bender is the name of this movie. This is a real movie. Now, which one of these plots is real? Which one did I make up? Number 1. Fender Bender is a bizarre and revealing look at car owners and motorists' reactions and responses to staged and pre-planned dings and dents.
Is this like insurance fraud?
Filmmaker Phil Brooks carefully plots low-impact parking lot accidents across the United States, equipped with dashboard cams, hidden lenses, and mics to test the real-time reactions of the unsuspecting public. With a focus on road rage and a look into insurance fraud, the documentary is a humorous, shocking, and sometimes scary journey into our quick-tempered and sometimes fraudulent motorist society.
Listen, if you made that up, I say this every week, but you're a genius if you did. Like a documentary about like fender benders.
I want to see it.
Dings and dents.
So, is that real? Or is this one real?
Fender bender.
Fender Bender. In a small New Mexico town, a 17-year-old high school girl who just got her driver's license gets into her first Fender Bender, innocently exchanging her personal information with an apologetic stranger. Later that stormy night, she is joined in her desolate suburban home by a couple of her friends who try their best to make a night of it, only to be visited by the stranger she so willingly handed all of her information to. A terrifying and bizarre serial killer who stalks the country's endless miles of roads and streets with his old rusty car, searching for his next unsuspecting victim.
It sounds like The Hitcher.
Fender Bender. So, is Fender Bender the Hitcher movie, horror movie, or is it the documentary about road rage and insurance fraud?
So the first one is a documentary about dings and dents in a parking lot. A guy's like doing a Gonzo film.
Gonzo documentary.
And the second one is like a horror movie like The Hitcher.
Low budget horror movie, which is scary because it could happen. You give a person you get into an accident with your information, they can come get you. They know where you live.
I'm going to say the first one is true. The first one is the real one. The Fender Bender documentary.
Fender Bender documentary
is the real
true.
One. Yes, that's correct. And if you made that up, I'm giving you a freaking trophy.
You are incorrect.
No,
I completely made that up,
dude. That was so ridiculous that it was so good. I thought, no way, you're gonna go with like the easy one. Oh man, that was good.
See, I try to go with fake names. Phil Brooks is actually CM Punk's real name.
See, I should have known. Damn it, we were just talking about him.
But, it was such a ridiculous premise. I thought that you would. God. I thought that you would actually get this one. That's why I put it first because it's so absurd.
Man, I hate you.
Yes. All right.
I hate you.
So, how many of you got that one correct? Hopefully, all of you except Drew. But no,
I should have known with Phil Brooks. What am I thinking?
It's a testament to my writing skills, I guess, because I was very proud of that.
Good.
I was very proud of writing that synopsis.
That was damn good.
So, film number 2. Urge.
Urge. URGE?
Urge, that's correct.
Okay.
Like urges.
Urges. I'm ready.
Plot number 1, real or fake? A weekend getaway takes a dangerous turn when a mysterious nightclub owner introduces a group of friends to a new designer drug. Stripped of their inhibitions, they start living out their wildest fantasies. But what starts out as a fun night of partying quickly turns deadly as the island paradise deteriorates into a tropical madhouse. Urge.
That sounds like, what the heck is that? The Super Troopers guys? The one...
Club Dread.
Yeah.
Club Dread.
All right. So that's Urge.
That's Urge, plot 1. Or is this the real one? It was supposed to be a picturesque wedding. Sasha and Christian were supposed to be the perfect couple. What lies beneath the surface paints an entirely different portrait. Seemingly honest and faithful, both the bride and groom have dark secrets they've been keeping from each other. Upon releasing the skeletons in the closet on the eve of their wedding, will the longest night of their lives lead to the happiest day of their lives? Or will their past urges be too shocking to overcome?
That's gotta be... That's
Urge.
Oh, man. See, I want to go with the first one being fake just because it sounds too much like Club Dread. But the way that you wrote the ending there, like, were there, what is it? Read that last line again?
The last line of the last one.
Yeah.
Upon releasing the skeletons in the closet on the eve of the wedding, will the longest night of their lives lead to the happiest day of their lives? Or will their past urges be too shocking to overcome?
See, that sounds like, it sounds like a real movie.
Yeah.
Both of this might be the hardest one yet.
So we've got
this murderous
sexy
road
island thriller or steamy eyes wide shut.
That's what I mean. Like
pre-wedding day thriller.
Do you have a coin? Can I flip it? Because I just
go ahead.
Man, okay.
So you gotta pick it out. Like, give me your thought process. What's the one clue on either of these that makes you feel a little wonky?
It's hard without seeing it in front of me. That's the problem.
To read it.
To read it. But that's the challenge of the game.
Yeah, it is.
And everybody listening right now is thinking the same
can't
thing.
See it
like,
either.
Man, if I could just read it because I can't go back.
There are listeners shouting at their
cars,
phones, their cars, saying, "You stupid idiot! It's number 1. It's number 2."
I know. See, I'm the big idiot on the show right now.
Oh no! I tried very hard to screw you over.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. You're getting really good at this.
I did make one of these up.
You're getting really good at this.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm gonna say the first one is fake. The second one is true.
So the second one is true. The first one, the sexy island thriller, is fake.
And the second one is true.
You are incorrect.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
The first one actually stars Pierce Brosnan.
I didn't even look this up.
Sexy island thriller starring Pierce Brosnan.
Oh man, I am so bad today.
Oh man, I was very proud of that right up too.
Dude, you have a future in the business here.
I tried to make it. That was my problem last time. I tried to make it sound like some kind of like studio head that would have to write this. You know what I mean?
Man, I gotta tell you, you have a future in the business.
No, thank you. Anybody who's listening, who wants to hire me, hit me up. I'll write whatever you want.
Professional synopsis writer.
So you're 0 for 2. You gotta save some face on these last 2, and they're not easy.
I need the power of the
now.
listeners right now. This is I am doing so bad right now.
It's not your fault. It's my fault for being so good.
That was hard, man. That was really good.
All right, moving along. Number 3. Careful what you wish for.
God.
Sounds sinister. Plot number 1.
I'm going to take some notes here. Hold on. Let me get my pen out.
Get your pen and paper out. Go ahead.
You hear this? I'm getting my pen out.
I flustered him to a point of pen and paper.
I need to take pen and paper out. I don't write anything, but now I'm going to write it down.
Careful what you wish for. That's the careful what you wish
That's
for.
the movie.
Yeah, I'm not actually telling you to be careful what you wish for.
Of writing it down. It sounds like a horror movie.
Yes. Of getting poisoning. Plot 1. While working in a wealthy vacation community the summer before college, Doug begins an affair with the beautiful young wife of his powerful investment banker neighbor. When the town erupts after a suspicious death, the young lovers become embroiled in scandal, forcing Doug and his limits as he battles deceit and betrayal. Careful what you wish for.
That sounds like a Lifetime movie. Investment banker?
Investment banker.
Doug.
But I love making fun of Lifetime movies. Remember that.
Yeah.
Not to sway you one way or the other.
So careful what you wish for.
Careful what you wish
All right.
for. Or is it this plot? Jacob is a troubled 14-year-old boy who continuously wishes he had a new family. After a suspicious boating accident leaves his parents missing and presumed dead, he is taken in by a foster family. Jacob finds out that he possibly had it better than he thought, as his new parents are strict, strange, and possibly have sinister intentions. Determined to find the truth about his parents, Jacob must tread lightly in order to uncover his foster family's troubling secrets. Careful what you wish for.
Dude, oh my God. Like, this is... I'm not joking when I say this is really damn hard.
Let's make these movies, people.
I even wrote this down.
Let's make these movies.
So I'm gonna go through my
Give me
thought
your thought
process
process.
here.
So just to recap, we have sexy...
It's like a sexy investment banking romance.
Sexy, possible. I'm assuming that the guy is dead.
Yeah.
He died, right?
Yes.
And then they're blaming the couple for the murder.
It's like wrongfully accused, forbidden romance.
Forbidden romance, yes. And then the second one, I'm assuming that these foster parents killed this family, killed the real parents.
Possibly, but what is their motive? And it's a boating accident.
And that they have sinister intentions. So, or are they still alive? Possibly too. There could be a secret involved, or the parents are in on it.
Maybe they're kidnapped.
Could be.
Maybe they're still
There's
alive.
a lot going on here.
So let me tell you this.
So foster parents or sexy thriller?
I'm gonna say that I feel like Doug.
Yeah.
The name Doug. There's something about the name Doug that I'm just not really.
You're not
I'm
liking
thinking
Doug?
about Doug Peterson here, right? And I know you love Doug. You're thinking about Doug Peterson, right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna say, and Jacob sounds more like a real name about a kid who lost his parents.
Okay.
And I can see that it's more like the Good Son style, sort of.
Okay, that's a good. It's a biblical name.
See, like Jacob, but Jacob is the guy from Lost too. So it's like, man, this is really hard. I'm gonna say Doug is fake. The first one is fake. The investment banker,
Okay.
with the guy who goes missing, like the
banker goes missing and he's banging the wife.
Yes, banging the wife.
Yeah,
of,
okay.
Actually, hold on a second. No, that's fake.
And the town thinks that they killed that husband.
Yeah. The second one with the boating, it seems more plausible. I mean, both of these sound like they could absolutely be movies, but the first one sounds like a fake Lifetime movie with the name Doug, which I don't buy.
Doug. Okay.
Doug does not sound like a real
So
name.
you're locking it in. Sexy thriller.
Sexy thriller.
With a couple.
Number one is fake. Lock it in.
You are incorrect.
Oh my God. I'm going to just knock this microphone over.
I am the champion.
Are you kidding me?
We'll do the last one just for completion's sake.
Are you kidding me?
But I am
right
dominating you right now with my skills.
Listen, this is an embarrassment.
It's
Everyone is
not your
listening.
fault. It's my fault for being good. It's not your fault.
Please, if you're also 0 for 3, please write into me and let me know that I'm not a complete idiot. The Last Row Podcast at gmail.com, please.
I'm not a very cocky person, but I feel like I'm good at this.
This is
I'm sorry.
pretty damn good. I don't know if we're gonna do this next week or 2 weeks from now on the next On Demand. I don't know if I can top you here.
You did a great job last time, though.
Dude, this is hard.
I
Good job to
I just
you,
stepped
man.
my game up.
Kudos to you. This is
Thank
great.
you. Last one. Let's save some pace. Me and you together. And I saved the most ridiculous one for last.
Oh my God. Most ridiculous? These are all crazy.
I promise you, one of these two movies is 100% real, and it exists. I promise you this. Unlocking the Cage. No,
the name already.
No, Dave, calm down. Doesn't star Nicolas Cage. They're both documentaries. One real, one I made up.
I challenged Dave to write in a synopsis about Unlocking the Cage starring Nick Cage.
When I saw the title, I thought of doing that, but it was way too obvious. You would
if you're listening, write that into us. Sorry, go ahead. You go ahead.
Unlocking the Cage. Plot 1. Real or fake? Unlocking the Cage follows animal rights lawyer Stephen Wise in his unprecedented challenge to break down the legal wall that separates animals from humans. arguing that cognitively complex animals such as chimpanzees, whales, dolphins, and elephants have the capacity for limited personhood rights. Steve and his legal team are making history by filing the first lawsuits that seek to transform a chimpanzee from a, quote, thing with no rights to a, quote, person with legal protections.
See, that sounds real.
Guys trying to file a lawsuit to get a chimp rights.
That sounds real.
Or does this sound real? Unlocking the Cage follows animal rights lawyer Ronald Camp as he boldly attempts
You really went there.
to ban the caging of all birds in the United States, arguing that the clipping of a bird's wings and the subsequent caging qualifies as inhumane, cruel, and unusual, and robs the animals of the single quality that justifies their existence. Camp sets forth a legal campaign that may very well set a precedent that could, if successful, change the legal rights of not just birds, but all animals. Unlocking the Cage. Bird movie or monkey movie?
Dude, I am like hating you right now. But I'm also loving you because this is so hard. So you've got a guy named Stephen Wise.
Stephen Wise versus Ronald Camp.
I don't know how that's spelled. I'm going to assume it's W-I-S-E.
I'll give it to you. It's W-I-S-E.
Okay, it's not W-E-I-S.
It's not
like
Wise.
Like the food, the grocery store chain. And then I've got Ronald Camp.
Ronald Camp.
So, monkey movie.
Monkey movie.
Or bird movie.
Or bird movie.
See, if you unlock the cage, I could understand, like, maybe letting the birds fly free.
Yes.
But if they're in a cage, they don't need their wings clipped. Because they're in the cage, and they can just flap in the cage.
But having your wings clipped doesn't mean you can't fly. It just means you can only, like, kind of hover. Like,
Okay.
people clip the bird's wings and still put them in the cage.
So, the first... Man, this is so hard. God. I'm going to say that the first one is true, because I feel like that has been in the news lately about trying to give, like, cognitive results of chimpanzees, like, making them persons.
Planet of the
peoples.
Apes has been out.
Yes. I'm going to say, and if I go 0% here, I'm going to cry.
Right.
But I'm saying the first one, lock it in. The first one is true. The bird one is fake.
You sure?
I'm 100%.
I'm giving you a chance here.
I'm
sure?
100% not sure, but I'm locking it in.
You are correct.
Thank God.
You totally redeemed yourself.
See, the second one was so real too, but man, that was hard.
I was worried that you may have accidentally seen this because I know you watched Game of Thrones. Or not seen the movie, but seen like an ad for it.
Is it HBO?
It's an HBO original
I haven't
documentary. Yeah. So the monkey movie is real. They're trying to get monkeys, whales, dolphins,
mammals
rights, right? So I actually want to see this movie. I really do.
It seems like a good movie.
Yeah. So the bird thing I completely made up. Ronald Camp is actually the animal lover in Ace Ventura. The billionaire and owner of the dolphins.
You know, it's funny when you write these down, you don't think about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you hid these clues in here.
Well,
but,
it's not the most obvious clue, but I've seen that movie like 100 times.
But in the moment, it's hard to like realize what that is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Good job, man.
So,
Kudos to you. I got a 25%.
Well, I'm proud of you for sniffing out the last one, redeeming yourself.
I really
there.
thought I was going to get a 0 there. I hope people that are listening did better than me.
See, I have a personal vendetta here on that last one because I don't like when people have birds because I hate when people clip a bird's wings. Personally, I'm a lover of animals.
Like, let the bird fly.
I'm not an activist and all that, but I hate when people clip a bird's wings. Like, what's the point? Like, what's the point of the bird if you're going to clip his wings?
You're just going to
Birds got to fly. It's like ripping the gills out of a fish. It's like birds got to fly, man. Don't clip the wings.
Bird's going to bird, man.
Birds are going to bird. So that was Plot Fiction. 1 out of 4 for Drew. The bar has been raised for the next time we do this game, and it's your turn.
I'm going to have to start working now.
So
for 2 weeks from now, I'm going to have to start working now.
Anybody who wanted to participate, go ahead and write in. Give us your score. No cheating. Let me know if you were completely unfold. And if you want me to step my game up even further, I know Drew would appreciate it. I will take it to new heights.
So after that awesome game, I think that pretty much does it for us. I don't know if I have the brain power to continue speaking.
We had a lot going on this episode. This was a fun episode.
This was fun. It was very loosely organized.
Very loosey-goosey.
Fast. Anytime you talk about The Rock, I'm in a good mood.
Yeah.
But I want to leave you guys with some love that we got from across the pond over in the UK. Our friend, new listener Lee from the UK, said that he found us after listening to Marked for Death. I'm happy that we did that movie because it's one of my favorites. Thanks for listening, Lee. Said he likes the games. We gave you a new game today. Hopefully you did better than I did. 25%. And I want to leave you with an iTunes review too. This one comes from somebody called the Commonwealth Kid. It says, a truly hilarious podcast. I love reliving my childhood of the 90s by listening to Drew and Badway's takes on movies. From old to new movies, they got what you need in between new releases and movie news. Love playing along with plot fiction. Seems like a hit.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. And I promise you, we don't pay these people to write in these reviews.
Yeah.
It's we started this podcast with no fanfare, and it's nice to have some people listening. So it really means a lot.
And
to
it
us.
does. And anytime anybody writes in, I promise you, we personally read it. We will write back to you. So if you really want to write into us, thelastrowpodcast@gmail.com. We're on Twitter at thelastRowPod. Badway's handle is at HeyBadway. I am at DAR268. Really random. Don't know why that it is.
Well, let's not get into it.
It doesn't matter. But you can get in touch with us, write to us. We will definitely write back to you. Thank you, everybody that's left us some love. We really do appreciate it. And I mentioned the iTunes review. If you do listen to the show and you have an iTunes account, you're on an iPhone, whatever it is, head on out to iTunes. Leave us that review. We'll read it for you on the air to say thank you because we really appreciate everyone that leaves us one.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And on that note, we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah. So I know it's been a long time coming, but that Bale breakout, their outburst.
Oh, yeah.
I
Turn your lights down in the scene.
I really do think that he had to come. He was probably, he was really screwing him. I bet he walked through so many times.
If I start flashing the lights right now while you're trying to talk, are you going to get mad?
I gotta admit, if you started flashing the lights, I'm speaking. I don't need the lights.
Next time you're doing plot fiction, I'm going to start flashing the lights up and down.
I'll probably start swearing at you.